welcome back. Egalitarian Geordie here, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a response video to NeonFiona and her video, Why I'll Never Get Along with Anti-Feminists. For those of you that don't know, NeonFiona is the girlfriend of Riley Dennis, who is a well-known trans YouTuber, and he gained notoriety for his views and videos on trans people and dating preferences, which essentially boiled down to, if you won't date a trans person, you're a bigot. So enough about Riley, let's go on to NeonFiona's video.
Hey guys, so in case you don't know, I am a feminist. Others on the internet have branded me as a social justice warrior, which I think is just really stupid, because SJW is just like, it's a tainted term now.
Now, I have to disagree with NeonFiona here already. I do believe she is a social justice warrior, and I refer to her as such because of the brand of feminism she is advocating for. The intersectional identity politics supporting kind of feminism which the far left is pushing, as well as people like NeonFiona. I wouldn't call all feminists social justice warriors, and feminists like Christina Hoff Sommers are a perfect example of those which are not social justice warriors and have a much more rounded and closer to egalitarian view on what feminism should be about, and people like Lacey Green that are open to discussions.
I care about things like racism and LGBT issues and politics, and that right there is honestly enough to make a large group of people just stop talking to me and pigeonhole me as some crazy woman who's never had any life experience and isn't educated on any topic and is therefore not worth listening to. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. The echo chamber of the anti-SJW community can wait for another video.
Now, while some of the things you claim to advocate for are things that I would support as an egalitarian, I support equal rights for men, women, trans people, people of colour and other minorities. But the problem with the far left identitarian side of things is they only advocate for one side of the argument, and they will only listen to one side of the argument. For example, feminists will protest and try and shut down any men's rights rallies that take place. And if you're not a feminist or an SJW and you're on the other side, they will try and discredit you and shut you down by branding you racist, a sexist, a misogynist, or a transphobe, or an Islamophobe, or a Nazi, rather than arguing the points you are making. And if you want to talk about echo chambers, the left and the SJW and the feminist side of things have some of the worst echo chambers going. And you just have to look at people like Steve Shives, who will block people just for the people they follow on Twitter.
But as a massive generalization, here is why I will never get along with these groups of people. 1. I truthfully don't care enough to question somebody's identity, and I think it's pretty shitty if you do. If somebody comes up to me and is like, hi, I'm bi, pan, lesbian, gay, trans, whatever it may be, I just accept it, because I truthfully just don't have that much time or energy to put into other people's lives that I don't know.
I would generally agree with just let people be who they want to be. The problem here is a lot of these people want to impose their identity onto how you have to act and be. They make up new pronouns and change the meaning of terms, or create new terms when there is an existing term that covers what they're trying to express, just to be different and play the victim when someone has an argument against them. Your identity should not entitle you to special treatment.
And even if a friend did come up to me and I'd known her and she'd been dating dudes for a year and she's like, hey, I'm a lesbian, I'd be like, cool, great.
Again, under normal circumstances, that would be fine. The problem is with the identity politics of the left, they are pushing these identities and making you a bigot if you don't follow them all the way. When people are flip-flopping their identities like this, you can't keep up with what their current status is. And then when you come to talk to them another time, you use the wrong terms and you're labelled a bigot, you're labelled a sexist, a transphobe. You're made out to be the bad guy when people are making changes that you're not aware of, and some of the changes aren't even logical.
2. I don't think that our change is done. A lot of conservatives will say that the left are just making things up and trying to cause drama for the sake of it, but like, we're really not. There's still a lot of shit to do, and just because women can get jobs and black people are no longer enslaved doesn't mean that all of our work is done. Men are facing sky-high suicide rates because expressing emotions is unmanly.
I agree, this is a problem. The high suicide rates for men is a major issue. However, whenever this is brought up by men or anyone who isn't on the far left, feminists and the regressive left vehemently shout it down. One of the key messages of Cassie Jay's movie The Red Pill was how this topic was handled by feminists, how they protest against men's rights marches and talks on investigations into male suicide rates and the causes of them, and Cassie Jay's movie was protested by feminists in large numbers.
Black people are being targeted by police at alarming rates.
But how many of those people had committed a crime? If they hadn't committed any crimes, it would be a worrying trend. However, the evidence would suggest that most of these people have committed a crime, and therefore the involvement of the police would be entirely justified.
Queer kids are being kicked out of home left, right and centre, and women are being told that they deserve what they got when they said they've been raped because their clothing choices were revealed. That's just the tip of the iceberg, and that's just in the West. Other parts of the world have it way worse.
Except for in the Middle East, and particularly under Sharia law, where has anyone said that? It's not a common thing in the West, and except for a very, very few extremists, it just does not happen.
The fight isn't nearly done, but a lot of conservatives feel that any attempt at change is an attack on their way of life and their traditional values. They seem to think that the world is falling apart because a trans girl wants to use a bathroom.
It's not so much about the trans person wanting to use a bathroom, it's that the way you are defining what a trans person is open to abuse. And there are examples of it being abused, where men looking to cause trouble have pretended to be a trans person to get into female changing rooms to take covert pictures of women in those changing rooms. This is a safety matter, it's a trans matter.
But I see these as steps forward because I don't want to regress. I don't want to live in a world where fear and hatred are primary motivators for things and that all the work to do with social justice is done because our world is perfect. Spoiler, our world isn't perfect.
No, the world's not perfect, but social justice is not helping matters. It's dividing people further. It's social justice that is encouraging segregation and separation of races. It's encouraging people to look at arbitrary things about themselves, like race, gender, sexual orientation, rather than the content of their character and the actions they take. It is social justice that has made it so police officers are afraid to investigate crimes because they might get called a racist. Social justice is part of the problem, not part of the answer.
And number 3, I like good debate and discussion and conversation. Now, I've never done a video response to somebody, but you can bet your bottom dollar that any political or social justice or topical video that I've done has been heavily inspired by content that I disagree with. But the crucial difference is, I like to argue points. I like to argue with facts. I don't like to debate by talking about someone's appearance or what they'd be like in bed or attacking someone's character. To me, that just completely ruins your argument. If you need to rely on someone's skin color or gender identity or how fuckable you think they are, then your argument just truly is weak. And I know why they all do it. It's entertainment and it's just a joke.
Again, where are the anti-feminists, the anti-SJWs who are making that kind of content? Everyone I can see is about arguing the points. If anyone is making personal attacks, it's the feminists and SJWs. The anti-feminists and anti-SJWs avoid making personal attacks. They actively support feminists who get doxxed and who get their channels flagged down to try and get them back. They are trying to encourage the debate even when the feminists and the SJWs are trying to shut it down. The rest of her video is basically her shilling her Patreon and other links, so I'm not going to continue any further. My conclusion is, although she does say she does want an open debate, I'm not seeing much evidence of that actually happening. A lot of her points don't support the side of the argument she's on. Now, maybe she is more open to debate than some others, but when people from that side have come over and been more open to debate, like Lacey Green, they have been ostracised by the left, by the feminists. I just don't think that's right. If you want to encourage debate with everybody, especially people you disagree with. That's all for today. Take care everyone, and speak again soon.